has kind of failed quite horribly. But I can I can see Scotch and there's just a blah there. But I know that's Scotch bonnet. So I can go there. And that I can see ring and then probably an of, and then that's just, I mean, that could be rice for all I know, but it will do for what I need. Hello and welcome back, and today is the first day of our new kind of product launch. It's a very long process because we are going to start growing our chilies, as you can see there, for the upcoming season. So it is currently the 8th of January, and I'm pretty sure some of you who don't know too much about gardens like, oh, why are you planting so early? Well, chilies need an awfully long time to grow, and obviously I think they kind of originated from the Americas, where the climate is very different, so you got that longer growing period in a shorter space of time because you got the heat there. Here in England, we don't have that, so it is, I mean, it is quite cold outside, but it's quite warm inside, hence the t-shirt. So I've gone about heating up this room specifically for our chili growing. So we do have two different varieties. We have the variety that I grew last year, which is Ring of Fire. That does work very well with our honey. It kind of gives it a nice smoky flavour, and then you get the honey, the smokiness, and then you get the heat. It's like a nice warming effect. And then the other one we've gone for is Scotch Bonnet. I see a lot of people do use Scotch Bonnet chilies in their hot honey recipes. So I'll give that a go as well, and it'll just be interesting to kind of see the two different flavours that kind of come out of it. But this is classed as hot stuff, as you can probably see there, and then this one is very hot. So the way we're going to do this is, in my mind, is we're going to stagger the growth period. I don't know how many chilies I'll grow, so I'm not too sure how much to plant. But I've got one propagator that is full of a growing medium or growing substrate. I've just chosen, what have I chosen? I've chosen coconut coir. It's quite cheap. It comes in a solid block like that, and I've just kind of chipped away at it, and it's really dry. All you do is add water, and then you kind of get that. So yeah, it's quite nice stuff to grow or to start your germination process. Now, I've read online that you're not meant to touch the seeds. I don't know if that's true, and I just put a glove on, but I've kind of destroyed it already. So I'm not too sure how well it's going to go. I think as long as my fingertips don't. Yeah, I mean, that's alright, isn't it? So we'll start off with the Ring of Fire. I don't know why, but I just love smelling everything. It doesn't actually smell of anything, surprisingly, because it is just a seed. That's 4, 6 there. So they are the chili seeds. So they're quite small. They look exactly like a pepper seed because it is from a pepper family. So I think their germination kind of ranges from anything between a week to 2 weeks. So we're not going to be expecting anything too drastic. And I also don't have a prodder, so I'm just using a drill bit, which is all good fun. So we've got one. Yeah, so now I just want to push the soil back down just so you got that good soil to seed contact. I don't know if you need gloves on, I'm not sure. I just read it somewhere. If you do know about gardening, can I touch the chili seeds? I don't know. Now it's quite good, especially for me, because I will end up forgetting what is where. So I'm just going to write down the varieties and the date as well, so I know how long each one has been in for. Has kind of failed quite horribly. But I can I can see Scotch and there's just a blah there. But I know that's Scotch bonnet. So that can go there. And that I can see ring and then probably an of, and then that's just, I mean, that could be rice for all I know, but it will do for what I need. During the growing process, I think you have it, so it's got little holes. So I think you have it closed off to start off with to really keep that heat trapped in. Oh no, that's not going to go well. I'm going to have to pop them in further. So we've got ring of fire and Scotch bonnet, and then it will be ring of fire, Scotch bonnet, ring of fire, Scotch bonnet, ring of fire, Scotch bonnet throughout the coming weeks. Yeah, not too sure what it will yield out like, but I think the whole point of this is like to really show the consumer or show you just exactly what goes into our products, which I really do want to highlight this year. So I might try and do a couple of videos around some of the sites that we're on, because I think it's important to know. So yeah, I'll leave them now. I'll pop them up here because I've got a rack in already set. I've got, oh no, and that didn't last one, did it? I have to stick that back on, but I've got some grow lights that I think will turn on. There we go. So I've got these grow lights. I don't need to put them on just yet because they're germinating, but as soon as they've germinated, I'll turn them on. They are pink and blue for a specific reason. I think the pink is solely for germination and the blue is more for fruiting. You could grow them under a light like this, but you'll kind of find that the plant becomes leggy. When I say leggy, I mean it's like it's stretching to find of light. So this actually simulates the lights that we can't see from the sun, but it makes it's more efficient and the plant can utilize it a lot more than what this does. Now I wanted to do a video like this mainly so we can show the consumer, show you guys what's actually involved in our products. So like for instance the chili honey, you can see the growth of the chili from day one all the way up until fruiting and harvesting, and the same with the honey. You can see it from, you know, the bees collecting the nectar to them dehydrating it to then us extracting it and all of that. But the whole point of this sort of exercise is going to be from, I'm not too sure if we'll do like a whole year of growth or it would be like a few stages of growth. So I might do like from planting to germination into its first pot, and then the next one will be potting on again into a bigger pot and hopefully transferring it into a polytunnel that we haven't yet got. And then there'll probably be quite a big gap between that video and fruiting or flowering, and then it'll kind of hopefully be harvesting, if it's that easy, which it probably won't be. But that's kind of what I want this series to do, I suppose. A chili growing series. I've never done it before. So if you're interested in thinking about growing chilies, yeah, this could be a good watch for you. You know, if I do make mistakes, then you can learn, and I can learn from my mistakes. Hopefully there's not many, but we never know. So that's what we're doing. I'll come back in probably a week just to make sure everything's going as it should do. It is now the 19th of Jan, so we planted our chilies on the 7th, I think. So it's nearly been 2 weeks since we planted it, and I've just come back and you can see we've got some germination. This is the, what's that say? Scotch bonnet has started to germinate. Nothing from the ring of fire just yet. But now, because we do have some germination, we're going to want that to get onto some light. So we are going to flick that on, and then, huzzah! We have light. Yeah, 12 days that's been in the ground for, and that's grown well. I mean, this one must have germinated a lot quicker than the others because those two same height. That one is a little bit leggy. quick spray. We'll pop the lid back on. So yeah, we'll pop back in a couple of days, maybe a week, when we're planting the next batch and seeing if we have a bit more germination. Yeah, very exciting. Chilies are growing. Now we are back in the shop slash office slash grow area, and we have had an exciting delivery that unfortunately I was away when it did arrive, but first tunnels. We have got our very first polytunnel, and there's a few more of the metal structures. Yeah, so our polytunnel has arrived, which is very exciting and also very nerve-wracking, because that means things are ramping up very quickly. And this is going to be the, I think, first chili update. There we go. Just love coming in here when that light's on. Yes. And these are our chili plants. So this is all what we're growing so far this year. It is our first season doing it properly. And I don't think I'm doing too badly, to be honest. We have had a few hiccups, which I'll pop here. So I just planted the next batch of chilies. It's been about 3 weeks since I planted the first lot. But for some reason, I got one healthy looking plant there, but then that's dying, that's shriveled up, that's starting to die. That one's shriveled up and died, that one's dying. I don't quite understand what's gone on there. So I've only got one healthy looking plant. Yeah. And but yeah, if anyone knows why they seem to wilt on coconut oil, do let me know, because I've got no idea. But I planted these, when did I plant these ones? On the 26th of January, and I planted these on the 2nd of February. I think we can tell which one the chilies prefer. It was just kind of a little experiment, because the coconut coir is a lot cheaper. So my thought process was, if I can grow it on a cheaper substrate to start off with, and then use a compost when we pot on, which is what we're doing today. We are potting on, because I've been doing some research. Now, let's go to my last batch of chilies, where we pop it on here. So this is called your cotyledon, or your cotyledons. So it's a dicotyledon, chilies, di meaning two, so it's 2 leaves. Monocotyledon, so you got dicotyledon, monocotyledon. Your monocotyledons are like your grasses, and your wheats, your oats, your barleys and all of that. Dicotyledons are your chilies, your oilseed rapes, your brassicas. Yeah, so anything that grows more than one leaf is a dicotyledon, which is this. Now you'll then see they get their first true leaf, which is there. And then, probably not, and then they start growing their second true leaf. So that's kind of like the first stage of the chili growing process. So it germinates, comes into its dicotyledon form, and then its first true leaf emerges, then its second, and then you really start seeing it romping away, because so this chili here is quite a good one. So first true leaf, second true leaf, and now it's just starting to get its third and fourth set of true leaves, like this one here. Now apparently there's like a few different opinions on when you should pot on. Some say when your first true leaves emerge, some say when your second set of true leaves emerge. I don't know, to be honest I don't think it makes much difference, but I want to pot them on because I have a secret recipe of fish blood and bone, Epsom salts, vermiculite and perlite. I'll go through what each of them do a bit later on. But this is very exciting because as I'm very new to this, you know, and people are like, well, you're a farmer, you grow crops for a living. I'm like, yes, but I don't pot on. We plant straight into the ground and just let it do its thing. And this seems to be a lot more delicate in everything that I do. So I'm going to go get some pots. I'm going to do that. I haven't got a spare bucket. Right then, so what are we going to add into this potting mix? So we are going to be adding some compost, perlite, which is this stuff. Have a quick look. It is so light. It kind of looks like what's it called? Polystyrene, and it feels light enough to be as well. But perlite is used for aeration and drainage, so it stops compaction because chilli plants don't like compaction. In fact, a lot of plants don't like compaction. So we got that. We have also got some vermiculite, which helps maintain the moisture and nutrients, and it also apparently improves seed germination, but we're not going to be germinating anything. We just want to improve the nutrient hold, and we don't want any nutrients to leach away, if that makes sense. We have also got some fish blood and bone, which is, I've got 5 kilos of it, which is there, which is kind of like your organic version of NP and K. So for farmers, you kind of know your NPKs as your nitrogens, your phosphates and your potassiums. This is like an organic version of it. I think it even says here 100% organic NPK. So there's 3 parts nitrogen, 9 part phosphate and 3 parts potassium in there. So that's kind of the general rule of thumb. And this is a slow release fertilizer. And I've also got some Epsom salts, but I don't know if I need them yet. No, you're probably not going to see that, but that is 10 parts of compost. And so we're not using exact measurements, we're just using parts. So that is 1 part, so it's just 1 trowel. And so let's grab some perlite. So 1 part perlite. 1 part vermiculite. So this stuff bloody stinks. The fish blood and bones. And then let's say 1/2 part fertilizer. And that is what it now looks like. We need to give it a good old mix up, because you don't want the fertilizer to be all in one area, otherwise you're going to get one chilli plant that could end up scorching the roots off and burn it, or it will just do really well and the others will just kind of sit there and not do anything. Now I believe what we do, we fill it about halfway, and then you're meant to like compress it down as well, because you don't want any air gaps in it. You get air gaps, your roots aren't going to get good contact with the soil or the compost. Maybe this is what you use. Oh yes. And there we go. Can you see the roots just dangling out of that? So we'll just pop that in. It's important not to damage the stem, because the stem is kind of like the motorway for its water and nutrients. So if we damage that, then the plant, especially at this young stage, is just going to end up dying. The next one's always better. So I've just patted it down, and there we go. It looks a little bit limp, but it's alright. I'm going to carry on, because I've got a fair few to do, and we'll come back after I've done it. So I've just finished editing the video, and going through the edit, the audio towards the end is horrendous, so I've come back. It is currently the 13th of March, it is the Friday, Hopefully this video will be going out this coming Sunday. We are really going to have an up-to-date chilli update, I suppose. It was really annoying because when I filmed it, you could see all of the chilies getting what you call pot shock. So they wilt away and they don't look very happy. They look like they're going to die. And now they have actually picked up. So these are the chilies currently. There are some that don't look particularly good, like that one there is probably a bit too young. You'll also see some leaves are starting to wilt, but these are the cotyledon leaves. These are the true leaves. And you do tend to see the cotyledon leaves wilt. That one there at the back doesn't look too good either. But yeah, so they have actually all perked up, which is quite good. We are bottom watering now. I mean, they do feel quite heavy with water. We do have our fan, which is going at the top. These are some of the other chilies, the younger batch. You can see some of them are just wilting away again. And then I still need to pop these ones on, as you can see, but again, starting to wilt. Now that is a wrap on the first chilli update, really. So from germination to potting on, our first potting on. The next video will either be, putting up the polytunnel and then the next stage of potting up. So we pot up again to a bigger size. And hopefully we'll get some nice chilli growth updates throughout the season, which I think will be quite cool. But yeah, if you did enjoy it, please do give it a thumbs up, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think. Did you enjoy this little series? I think it might be a little bit long, but I'll try and slim it down next time. There's just a lot to kind of show, I think. Just everything's getting quite busy. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.